Finger, and you're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the UPL Summer 2021 Valorant extravaganza that we have going on here today. I am Sepulence, joined by the wonderful Jag, to bring you a game that we have seen before. So we've got a little bit, we know a little bit more than we may be letting on at the beginning. Jag, how are you feeling going into this, my man?
You gotta hype them up. You gotta give them a little bit of a tease before we get into that kind of information. But it's great to be back. It's great to be here at the UPL for the first time, and we've got a great series on our hands. It's week one, and I mean this is the start of the summer 2021 season. 12 teams ready to go, and they're all going to be fighting for that prize pool at the very end of it.
Yeah, week one coming into this, coming in hot. These teams are going to be bringing it out. We are going to be get to seeing a little bit of Breeze, but we're not going to be seeing, just to put it out on the table, the newest character in Valorant, Kaio, Ko, whatever you'd like to call him. None of that here today, so we won't be seeing any of that. We'll be sticking to the tried and trues that we are familiar with. But Jack, why don't you tell us a little bit about the teams coming into this? UC Davis versus the Striking Vipers.
Yeah, it's going to be our first match here on stream. And UC Davis, that's the team that we are familiar with. That's the one you were just alluding to a bit. We've seen them at the NECC. They've also played in CSL, and they had mixed results actually in the CSL. They only went 5-4 during the regular season, but they've stepped it up since then. They went 9-0 in the regular season for NECC. They won the championship, and I know everyone here also knows them because they were actually the reigning and defending champions coming out of the spring season. So they've got a lot at stake. However, there is one change. They do have one new player coming in. Brace is not on the roster anymore now. It's Nick. So we'll have to see if that new member changes things up or if they're just as dominant as ever. Striking Vipers, it's a bit more of a question mark coming into this game.
Yeah, definitely a question mark. We recently found out they created their team, or they announced their team, rather, excuse me, just a couple of hours ago, I think 5 or 6 hours ago from where we're sitting now. So this is the team, as far as we are concerned, making kind of a Valorant debut today. They may have played before, but we don't have that knowledge. And either way, going up against a team like UC Davis, they have some very big shoes to fill right away. UC Davis, like you just mentioned, a colossal team, a team that is really putting in the work. They've had a couple of mixed results here and there, but a team certainly does not go 9-0 on accident. So I think the Striking Vipers, they're going to have to come out, striking. I think the name implies exactly what they need to be doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a statement it would be. You come in, brand new team, brand new game, and you just wipe out the champions from the previous season. That would be a way to make a name for yourselves in this Phantom Division first game of the week. But as you said earlier, we will be seeing a bit of Breeze today. So why don't we just see the whole map selection for today? The teams did the map ban stage a little bit earlier. And one thing you and I were talking about is that now with 6 maps in the game, you don't just, have one left over for the tiebreaker.
Right.
You have to be a bit more decisive about it. So they actually decided to choose Breeze over Icebox, which I think says a lot about Icebox in its own right. But the other two we'll be starting out with today is Bind and Ascent.
Yeah, absolutely. Bind and Ascent are two maps that we are very, very familiar with. They've been around for quite a while. Ascent, I always crack jokes, is a map that I have cast, you as well, probably hundreds of times. I always call it the face of Valorant. So we'll expect to be seeing that relatively soon here. Bind as well is a very common map. And then jumping into Breeze, I'm super excited. I have only seen Breeze in a tournament setting, a very few sort of area a couple of times here and there, but personally this is going to be a great opportunity to see what these teams bring to the table. And like you said, Icebox, people like to avoid it, and now that they have another reason to, it's really going to be a great option to see new maps coming out to the front.
It will be indeed. Striking Vipers, they chose Bind, and they'll be on the defense first. Ascent was chosen by UC Davis. They're going to be on the defense first for that, and then Breeze is going to have Striking Vipers on the attack first and UC Davis on the defense if we get to that. So we already know what they'll be starting in. And because, Haven isn't out to play today, I've got to say that I think most of these maps are going to be defender-sided.
Right.
That's just usually how Valorant works, but that isn't really necessarily how it always ends up being.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, Haven is kind of one that people often consider to be attacker-sided because there are the 3 points. It's a little bit harder for the defense to play defense in such a large area. But instead, we don't see that. Like you said, these are all going to be 2-point maps, including Breeze. If we do get there, we should talk about, one of these teams has to only win 2 of these maps. So realistically, we might not see Breeze if UC Davis comes in like the UC Davis that we know and love. A very strong team, a very effective team, and I want to see, are they going to come in just as strong here, or are the Striking Vipers, like you said, going to slay the front runners here, going to slay the defending champions?
Well, we will see how that ends up playing out. Hopefully we get into the agent select in just a few moments. I know we're ready. I'm sure the players are ready to go as well. But I think you bring up an interesting point. Yeah, it is a first to two, so it's not a best of three or anything like that. There's not a third map guaranteed.
Right.
Obviously, map differential is very important here. You want to get those clean scores early on, but now we do have that Agent Select coming up, and Mind, as we said, is that first map. Already, we've got a few locked in on the side of the attackers. The Cypher, the Phoenix, the Sova, some other hovers in. There's the Omen. So the Omen instead of the Astra. I find that very interesting. Astra has really picked up in popularity as of late, but I mean, Omen has kind of been the OG, I feel like, for a while now. I mean, there was a brief time at the very beginning of Valorant's existence where Brimstone was popular, but Omen has just been so good because he has that paranoia. He can teleport across the map, and now you see him coming out to play once again.
Yeah, you beat me right to it. I'm actually very surprised we're seeing the Omen over the Astra. Even in the recent patch notes the Valorant devs released, they were like, Astra's super popular right now. We've got to make a couple of changes. She might be just a little bit too strong, but those changes certainly don't seem to be changing anything coming out here. We still see that Astra locked in, and I really want to see, is Astra versus Omen going to make a large difference? That's arguably the largest change we're seeing. We're seeing the Sova on both sides, the Cypher on both sides, and Phoenix and Jett can be swapped out, you know, rather in tandem with one another. But I really want to keep my eye. Astra versus Omen is one of those agents really going to help a team thrive here.
And one thing that you and I were talking about beforehand is with all these changes in version 3 of Valorant, this has really become more of a gun-based game, I would say. Abilities are much more expensive, so really buying them every round, it's just not as possible as it used to be in the past. And now we're going to see how that comes out to play. I think that gunplay is just going to be super important. I think especially when it comes to, you know, getting the operator online, now it's a bit more reasonable. We might see that, especially if you're a defender. There are some great sidelines on this map. And we're going to see how the attackers decide to do this. UC Davis starting out on attack. Striking Vipers are going to be on defense.
Yeah, Striking Vipers are going to start on the defense in what we already referred to as a defender-sided map. And like Jag has mentioned, there was a massive change. Almost every ability in the game costs more, while almost every gun in the game costs less. So it's going to be a much more gun-deciding game. It's not going to be as aggressive of using these abilities every single round, using these flashes, using these teleports, these paranoias perhaps, with this Omen that we've seen already. But pistol round coming out, now this is a round where it's truly all about aim.
You want to get off to a hard start. You want to get that bonus round early on. It looks like we might be having a bit... Oh, never mind. I would say we're having a bit of delay. There might be actually... Yeah, we're going to have a reset. So having some production things we're trying to sort out there. We're going to have a bit of a reset just to get back into this as soon as possible. It looks like a B push from the get-go. So I'm wondering... You know, now that you kind of know what your opponent's going to do, or maybe just assuming what they're going to do, seeing them, I think they saw them a little bit coming towards Hookah. Not sure if they actually didn't see it because we had some camera freezing on our end, unfortunately. But, I mean, if you're the attackers and you already had this game plan planned out, I think you got to swap it up, right? You got to try to maybe play more for a default pick, maybe play a slower pace, or maybe you just go all in on A for your first push.
Yeah, very much. I do think that it's a possibility. And we can assume they're probably going to, you know, what is often referred to as a gentleman's pick, where they're going to pick the same agents. They're going to jump right back in. Nobody's going to be pulling anything out from under the rug, as we would assume. But like you said, they might have to kind of a last-minute turn around, you know, maybe change their plan or go in quite literally guns blazing, right? Maybe they swap to frenzies. They just look to mow down whoever they can as quickly as they can and run from there. But it's going to be interesting, honestly. It's going to be quite fascinating to see. Are they just going to hold on to Hookah? Are they just going to run through B? Or is it going to be, no pun intended there, is it going to be a last-second turnaround?
Well, I've gotten confirmation. There won't be a redraft of agents, so we're going to be coming out with the same exact agents that we saw selected. I was going to say, maybe, honestly, maybe then we see the Astra versus Astra matchup.
Right,
because I think you and I agree that she is a bit stronger here. I mean, her gravity wells are just insane.
Wild.
They can completely change a fight just because positioning is so much more important in Valorant than other games because, you know, you got to stand still. You got to make sure that you're firing at a consistent rate. You don't want to just spray and pray because then you're just going to get punished for it. So when you just get pulled out even a little bit, a few inches, it can completely disrupt your motion and then you can completely end up whiffing.
Yeah, absolutely. I know all about not wanting to spray and pray because that's the only way I can play Valorant, and it never really goes well for me. So I can assume that the pros probably aren't going to be trying to do that same thing here. And even as an Omen player, I can admit, Astra, she's just in a better position. I think her abilities are a lot better for team fights. Omen has always felt a little bit lone wolfy, so to speak, especially because he can damage his own teammates. I think that's not damage, but he can inhibit their issues moving forward. So, folks, we are suffering a couple of small technical issues. We are going to throw it to a super short break. Don't go far. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Thank you so much for waiting, everybody. I hope you missed these handsome faces just as much as we missed all of you at home. I am Septilence, and Jag is a stinky liar because we are going to go through another Agent Select era. Unfortunately, we thought we weren't going to, and then we found out we were, so...
It's true. It's true. Unfortunately, we had some tech issues using some new software today to try to make the stream as beautiful as possible, but it is what it is. We'll have to roll with the punches on this one. And now we're going to be moving on to that next agent selection. So now all the things we had talked about previously, where there could be, different choices. It could be a thing. And I mean, I don't remember seeing arrays last time around. So that could be a change. In fact, I don't remember seeing Arena either. So looks like these compositions have been completely turned on their heads.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm definitely seeing a little bit of changes here. We saw C16 hover over Raze initially before and then choose not to play them. So to see Raze come out here, personally, this is my favorite Raze map. I think she just works wonders here. We're still seeing the Omen versus the Astra. We're going to have to keep an eye on those as well. But like you said, nothing really changing, I think. Other than the Raze, I think Delusional was on the Reyna, but I'm not positive. Either way, we're seeing a majority of the same picks coming through here, and I'm really excited to see what's going to be brought to the table by these teams.
And we'll have to see what the strategy is. Kind of play your cards out a little bit. We know that there might have been some shenanigans tuning into the stream, maybe. So maybe there were some, giveaways there, and that's why there were these complete swap arounds. We'll see how those work out. We do still have an Astra on the field. That's UC Davis picking that up. They are going to be attacking now, so we'll see how that works out. I'm really interested to see how this plays out this time around. Reyna Jett is not a duelist combination you usually see in tandem. I feel like you don't see that unless it's on Ascent. I feel like generally you see a Phoenix here because curveball is really good for just peeking around a corner. But the Phoenix is actually on the other side, so we'll see if Striking Vipers can make the best out of that opportunity.
Yeah, you definitely beat me to the punch on that one as well. Reyna Jett is odd. It's definitely unusual, so I want to see, are these players just playing things they're comfortable with, or is it going to be more of a combo, perhaps a team composition that they're bringing to the table? We're going to see C16 get caught out pretty early on. Esperanto will find Delusional just with that Ghost, able to get a couple of things lined up here in a 4v5 scenario. I think both the shells used right away on the side of the Striking Vipers, so that cooldown is going to be down the drain just a little bit. You see Davis, they're able to tie things back up here. We see Stim coming through with an elimination onto Nick, so the Omen will fall. The Astra still alive. We wanted to keep an eye on that combination a lot, and Smurfsicles going to be able to find Stim with a phenomenal shot coming through there, taking that Jett offline. A 4v3 in favor of the Striking Vipers. UC Davis, they're supposed to be the Goliath of a team that we're kind of expecting to see a lot today, and it looks like they're going to be able to come in just as strong here on the other side. Sin picks up Smurfsicles. Various goes for the double kill with the Frenzy, and it's going to be all about this Astra, but unfortunately Sin will not live long enough.
And that was just an amazing play, back to back to back by Various. They're even going to give them the defuse there to try to build up that Hunter's Fury just a little bit quicker. It was a really good recon bolt. Then they used the Shock Dart, both of those things, finding out people, getting some damage. They run through U-Haul, they run through Lights, find 2 kills, secure the rounds. And even though UC Davis is going to get a little bit of plant money there for getting the spike down, it's going to be the first round not going the way. And pistol rounds, they might not be the most important at the end of the day. Because you know, you can lose that, you can lose this, which is basically going to be a very hard round to win because you're not going to have as much credits, and that's okay. Losing 2 at the start, it's not really the the end all be all, but you do want to take out a few along the way if you do lose this round.
Yeah, losing the round is arguably not as important as finding a couple of eliminations here and there. They want to find some things because if you can reset your opponents, if you can reset that economy, that's going to be great moving into the third round. Statistically, the team who wins the first round is usually going to win the second one as well. To see the other team do it is a little bit of an anomaly. So we want to see Striking Vipers come through here. We want to see them pick up a little bit of value and see what kind of aggression can be done from the Vipers in terms of just finding kills. Because realistically, they probably shouldn't be looking to win the round instead of just focusing on the eliminations.
There's going to be the first elimination actually going the way of Striking Vipers, so they do have a very weak Cypher, though, and there's no Sage, there's no Sky, so there's no healing. This damage they've done is permanent, and that's dangerous. I mean, it's a risk that's big enough in the first place to choose a Cypher on attack, because it's really hard to really get any value out of their abilities unless you've already taken over a site. Now they're weak, and you won't really have use of their tripwire or their camera if they fall early on. And I think Striking Vipers, knowing that, they've kind of split their push a little bit. Most of them are towards A, but they do have one up. Never mind. There's the teleporter. We haven't even talked about the teleporter yet, and there's no mid here, so you just use that to get across the map. Now they're going to be running into A.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be storming into A here. Leica going to be hiding in the Cyber Cage just a little bit as Khan does go for the plant, but Stim picks up the elimination onto Nick with the Spectre, my personal favorite weapon in the game, just throwing that out there. So UC Davis, they are going to be down 5-3 for the moment. Esperanto does pick up a kill onto Leica. That Cypher offline. There goes the Tripwire. There goes the camera, just like you said, Jag, and it's going to be a 4v3. A lot of damage being done on the side of UC Davis, but all the ones that are doing damage are being taken out all the same. Various goes for the one-to-one trade, taken out by Stim. Smurfsicles is going to find a kill. A 2v1 here for Smurfsicles, the defensive Cypher, arguably in their prime here. Cypher belongs in the defense. Gonna go for the elims, knows somebody's around the corner, will find one, has to find another, but he's looking the wrong way. This could be a disaster because the Astra is behind him, and I don't think he is any the wiser. Now it's gonna be all about Smurfsicles getting out of this combat before the spike goes off, and I think they're both going out with a bang here.
Smurfsicles might just be able to get out by the skin of their teeth. They do. Sin falls, but they still win the round. That was just greatly played. Sin just hiding behind some boxes. It wasn't even trying to threaten the potential of killing them unless they heard the defuse. They were just, the threat of them being there, it was just too much for UC Davis there to take a risk, and I think they might have cast or cursed that round a little bit. We say, hey, you know, that second round after you win the first one, almost guaranteed. This time it's not. And there isn't really a bonus round going either way. Both teams, they committed to that second round. They bought a good amount, and now, because of that, neither team are really going to have any assault rifles coming into this.
Yeah, and that's gonna be huge here. They kind of did break that statistic. Like I said, it's usually where the first team to win wins the second round as well. UC Davis coming out quick here. The classic from C16 is gonna find Delusional. That Reyna taken offline. Looks like Astra not far behind. Striking Vipers losing their two, kind of damage dealers out the gate there. Oh, and it looks like Leica not far behind. Not gonna Leica that elimination there, as UC Davis is gonna put themselves up 5-2.
It was a great defensive rotation from UC Davis. They're aware that there's a lot of Striking Vipers coming up B. They decided to take the teleporter there. Now they were all on that point, and that does leave A wide open. But Striking Vipers, they've still committed to this B site. They do finally trade one back, but look at where Slim is. Slim is all the way on A. They are the one who has the spike, and while their teammate is still on B, they might just be a distraction at this point. Khan might have to give their life for the team here, and they do.
Yeah, like you said, Khan's going to have to go out with a bang here, able to find the elimination onto Nick. Going to be a 1v3 Slim. Like you said, the spike has been planted. Slim's going to be hiding in the back corner here. Oh, even committing a Blade Storm, perhaps. I'm curious to see if Slim's going to drop the 3K of a lifetime here. I'd absolutely love to see it, as the Blade Storm is quite literally a hit or miss ultimate. If you land eliminations, you will. Oh, no way!
My God.
They stand right in a line. The collateral damage from Slim. Able to find two, and now it's a 1v1, both at full health, and the bait does come through. The defuse is going to have to be committed. This is going to be kind of desperate for Smurfsicles. Slim, you got to peek the corner, and they find it. No way! Slim with the quadruple clutch, the Bulldog in hand, and the Blade Storm to boot. Striking Vipers go up 2-1.
I can't say I've seen many collateral Blade Storms.
That was wild.
That was perfectly lined up on the spike. They were both looking in the same direction, too. They were both looking towards showers. No one was looking towards heaven that entire time. I was going to say also, the Phoenix on the side of UC Davis, they were pretty weak. Not sure if they used their hot hands or their flame ult early on, but could have possibly healed up there. They didn't. They end up falling first, and then it was just a lone Cypher Smurfsicles. They tried their best. They could not get it done, and now Striking Vipers, after losing the first round, they've taken an early lead.
Yeah, they have taken an early lead indeed, and it's great to see them because UC Davis, we talked about right at the beginning, this is a team that we know is good. Striking Vipers, they announced their roster 6 hours ago. They're coming through hyper-aggressive in C16. Speaking of hyper-aggressive, here comes UC Davis with 3 eliminations off the bat. Esperanto will fall, but it was only to run it back, so still a 5v2. I love the use of the blast pack there in an attempt to push yourself forward before the enemy can line up.
Even though Striking Vipers won that round, I mean, they took so many casualties along the way. Not a lot of them can full buy. You see Delusional here tries to use a Sheriff, and it ends up getting killed by the Bomb Buddy. You don't see that very often, but you love to see it when it happens. UC Davis, their Rays cannot get an ace, but they could get a 4K to match the 4K we just saw on the other side.
Yeah, this is going to be Leica's time to shine, right? The Cypher on offense with the Sheriff, worst case scenario, does pick up Esperanto, however, so you go out with, a little bit of a trade. It was going to be pretty unfortunate to see Leica fall early, but I feel that player will get to shine a little bit more when they are on defense, because that, at least, in my opinion and most opinions, is where Cypher belongs.
Indeed, I completely agree with that. That's why I was saying earlier, it's a bit hard to really push with a Cypher. I feel like a Killjoy is a better kind of in-between. kind of a lockdown sort of agent because sure, she has the turrets, which can be a distraction. She also has her alarm bot, which, you know, can cause some chaos, but that turret is much more usable on the attack. You can kind of set it up for making sure no one comes around you, but also you can just put it on point and then you can find out where the defenders are hiding. Regardless, no Killjoy on the field. It's 2-2, and we thought this would be a bit of a one-sided affair, but early on, Striking Vipers are making a name for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said it a couple of times. I'll say it again. This is a roster that was announced today. This is, as far as we're concerned, their kind of Valorant debut. And to go even 2-2 with UC Davis here is a very close game. It shows they're playing to par with the team that is currently the reigning champions. Now it's going to be Slim versus Esperanto here in Showers. We're going to see the flashbang at the ready, but it looks like it's not going to be able to find much. Delusional following up will be taken out by Esperanto 2 on the side of the Vipers. Going to fall. A 3v5 coming through. UC Davis looking strong here in round 5.
Strong, but there is still a way that Striking Vipers can win this. They do have the Neural Theft, so if they get an opening kill, that could be huge. They could find out where everyone is. They could use that as knowledge to try to rush a site that has no one on it, or they could do the opposite. They could try to run in knowing exactly where those enemies lie. So far, they have not really made a move just yet. They are a bit split, 2 looking towards B, 1 looking towards A main, and that one on A main is their Astra. So they're not actually going to have any smokes to get into this site on B if that's the way they want to do this, and well, they might have that recon ball. That recon ball also is going to give them away.
Yeah, right. I was going to say that same thing. You know, you got a little bit of information, but you also just said, hey, look, I'm over here. So now everybody's going to be looking right where they are. We see that 1-for-1 trade, but Various is going to find 2 eliminations back-to-back there. It's going to be all about Sin on this Astra. Only 10 seconds left. You don't have the spike. This is kind of a... You go for a couple of exit frags if you're lucky, but this is going to be the rest of a hold round.
Yeah, the Astra might not fall, but it's still going to be a victory for UC Davis nonetheless. And I think when you know you're going to go out like that, you want to go for the spike plant. Maybe you get to trade out a little bit more. Maybe you do get that extra credits if you get the spike down. There, they don't really get anything out of it. They just lose a lot of members, and I don't feel like their economy is going to be very good right now. My guess is that there's going to be a lot of light buys on their side, and as we see, yep, Sheriff, light armor, there it is. There's going to be only 1 Phantom online, and that's because that Astra did not fall in that last round, so Striking Viper is going to be at a very big disadvantage gun-wise, but that isn't the end of the world. They still have ultimates. They actually have a better alt bank going into this, and as we have a bit of a pause, maybe we'll have some more time to talk about these ultimates.
Yeah, I definitely want to see the ultimates coming through here. We know the Hunter's Fury is, honestly, if I were to keep track, I would guess that the Hunter's Fury, I've probably seen it kill more teammates than enemies. I think it is a very risky ultimate. I think it's one that Sovas can really utilize well. The one I'm going to be looking out for is that Showstopper. Talk about a hit or miss ultimate. Showstoppers are either getting 1 or they're getting 3 and pretty much nothing in the middle. And I really want to see, is UC Davis going to use these ultimates? Do they know the ultimates at the ready from the Striking Vipers? Do they think they're coming out in this next round? It's really going to be more about playing a game of chess of, do we use these or do we wait for them to be used from our opponents?
And I think also you got to think about when you use them. I mean, you want to use the Empress right away. Same thing I would say with Raises Ult, unless you wait patiently maybe for a recon bolt to find out where they are. But the other 2, Hunter's Fury as well as Neural Theft, you got to wait. You got to wait for a patient play, and for Neural Theft, you got to wait for a kill before you can even use it. So it's conditional. But so far, no ultimates off the bat. So Striking Vipers, they might be just trying to do it the old-fashioned way with some good headshots. Sheriff might be sidearm, but if you hit the head, that can still be a 1-tap.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, not to sound like everybody's favorite 2000s rapper, but I always call the Sheriff kind of, the one-shot, one-opportunity weapon, because you go into a firefight, you look for one opportunity to shoot them, and if you miss, you probably lose that firefight. I always call it the high risk, high reward of Valorant, because it's really going to be all about that first shot and how well you can aim. And speaking of aim, we're going to see how well these teams can really do that here. Pushing in through Hookah. Looks like they're going to be attacking B, which everybody's at except for 2 players here. Esperanto with the first kill will be traded out by Sin. So the Cypher and the Phoenix, have both fallen a 4v4. The spike plant already coming through. Sin just storming in, trying to find the eliminator, trying to find the plant as quickly as possible, because even if you lose the round, that guarantees you more credits for next round.
Look at this positioning. Con right now is going to be caught out on the flank. Does trade one out, but immediately falls down. This is actually not too bad for Striking Vipers. The Empress was popped, so there is going to be a little bit of heal if you get a kill, but they are going for the defuse now, so Delusional, you got to make a move. You might be able to find that 1 kill, but it's not going to be enough.
Oh, exit frag, however, we take those. You know, not the best case scenario. You do lose the round, unfortunately, but you do reset the economy as well. So we're going to see that coming through. 4-2 in favor of UC Davis. Striking Vipers keeping things neck and neck until round 5, but they've started to slip here a little bit. They didn't use, I believe, any ultimate. I believe they might have used the Empress there, but it didn't get nearly as much value as they wanted. So they're going to have to rely a little bit more on these other ults.
It did get value from the kill department. I will say that. I mean, they're able to take a few out on the way, but it's just not quick enough. The rotation was a bit slow. I think Delusional went to pick up a Phantom after they got a kill, and then they were kind of caught out trying to reload it. Weren't able to rotate back in time. Not sure if they can even hear the defuse from there, but those 2 extra kills, you're like, yes, that's great, but it's not good enough. We'll see if Khan can open things up here.
Yeah, Khan. Oh, there we go. Able to find Esperanto with just that back end of the Hunter's Fury there. That final storm is going to go through and pick up that Phoenix early on, making it a 4v5. This is the Striking Vipers' time to, well, strike. I mean, they've got the numbers advantage. They've got the Neural Theft as well as the Astro Ultimate at the ready, and I want to see the Cosmic Divide, and I want to see what can the Striking Vipers do here with those 2 ultimates. Do they choose to use them, or are they going to run in dry and just try to take a good old-fashioned firefight?
I think you want to use the Cosmic Divide once you're set up on point. Running in with it can still be risky, even though it'll completely cut off sight lines. But it's going to be Various actually opening up. We already see one Hunter's Fury get value. The other one does too. So trading Hunter's Furies, both of them getting a kill, Striking Vipers. They might have struck the first blow, but they've just been sitting on this B site for so long that they haven't been able to actually get any progress or momentum. And now basically everyone is rotated over except for Nick, who's still on this A site.
Yeah, Nick is going to be hanging out on the A side. We've actually seen Nick there this round as well as last, and kind of a slow rotation coming through when they started to lose the fight a little bit. So the Cosmic Divide will make an appearance from the Striking Vipers, giving Sin the opportunity to storm in just a little bit. They know somebody's around the corner because that's where they have fallen every single time they've pushed in. Oh, and Khan with the blind shot onto Smurfsicles there. Khan is going to be able to find another kill onto C16 as well, so
this could be
a triple kill to boot. Neural Theft. I mean, yeah, we could see an ace here. Leica is going to commit a Neural Theft, however. Kind of an odd choice, but I respect it nonetheless. Coming through strong, trying to find these opportunities, trying to win a round. You're down quite a few in Various, trying to make sure you go down even more. A 4v2 turns into a 2v2. The Sova alive on both sides. A Jet versus an Omen, and oh! Slim with the Operator, able to find one. Do they find the second? Just waiting to turn the corner, and they certainly will. What a phenomenal flick coming in from Slim there. Nick will fall. Striking Vipers only down by a single round.
No ace, but great shots there from Slim on the Operator. This is something we had mentioned. It is only a little bit cheaper, but that 300 credits can make a world of a difference when it's the most expensive gun in the game. There it's affordable. Right. There they go for it. It was a very interesting rotation we saw, too, from Striking Vipers. I mean, their Sova was going all the way around. I think he was trying to get into Hookah, but if he's a little bit too late, it could have been the exact same scenario as last round where you get the kills, but the spike is already defused and you don't get the round win. This time, they're able to get it, and they're only 1 round away from evening things up once more.
Yeah, like you said, you know, we're really focusing a lot more on the gunplay, on kind of what's being used moving forward. And especially, I've been looking at the Jet and I've been looking at the Omen, 2 agents that I feel use abilities a lot. And both of them have been very reserved. I don't think I've seen a Jet smoke more than one time. We haven't seen the Omen teleporting. I think we've seen 1 or 2 paranoias. It's really coming down to the weaponry rather than the abilities at the ready.
It's going to be the first kill, Delusional taking out Esperanto, so no run it back today. I think you make up a really good point where Striking Vipers, they've really played around their Astra to set up on point. They haven't really used their Cloud Smokes at all, which I think is smart because Cloud Smokes evaporate very, very quickly. It's really only for Jet to just try to get into a place and cause a distraction. They aren't actually very good cover. And we could see that. I mean, Striking Vipers, they do have a Blaze-Storm online, so we saw how great it was last time around with that double kill. Could be another one here.
Yeah, I would love to see another one coming through. I think you made a great observation as well that Sin really does seem to be kind of the leader of the pack, so to speak, pushing in these attempts time and time again. I don't know if that player is the team captain or if they're just trying to rotate around the Astra, but it's working out well. And Slim, my good, you can miss a shot sometimes, my friend. Like, Slim is just putting these away. That is the 3rd Operator elimination. Make it 4th. My goodness. Looking clean. And we talk about, at least, you know, I talk about all the time, Jets and Operators like peanut butter and jelly. They just go together so well.
They really are, because Jet just has a great movement speed. She can use her E to reset herself if she misses the first shot. And then if you do want to use that Blaze-Storm, you can use your updraft to try to get up and try to use that. Or you could just maybe try to go for a shot from the heavens. So far, Slim has not missed anything. And you said not this round, but the round before. That was a great flick that we saw previously.
Yeah.
These shots, a little bit more stable, a little bit less risky. But regardless, hitting them getting the last 2 kills each round. Striking Vipers, they have now tied the score once again. We were at 2-2, now we're at 4-4.
Yeah, you've got a great point again. I mean, 2-2, I was talking about, oh, they're really down a couple, and then all of a sudden, Striking Vipers, they changed their tune. This Jett in particular making a world of difference. 2 eliminations in the last round, 3 in the round before that, all of them, I believe, with an operator. So coming in strong as ever. There's that Paranoia I've been waiting on. It looks like it's not going to be super effective, but it will force a choke a little bit there. The team going to be slowing down a bit. Striking Vipers may have to change their tune and rotate around, because a lot of great smokes coming out right now from Nick.
This is really dangerous if you're Slim. I mean, you want to play far back when you've got the operator, so running in with it like that on A short might not be the play, and I don't think A is the play at all now. As Striking Vipers, they thought about it, and now they're not thinking about it. They are moving all over to B, so I think one thing that Striking Vipers have kind of defined them on their attack is they've always been really, really patient. The only time that I really saw them run in was that one round where that teleport came in from the defenders from UC Davis, and they got completely called out. So I think they're just going to use the Leer as a distraction, as a bit of a bait, and now they're going to set up for that B push.
Yeah, the Leer, probably every Reyna's favorite ability, also did have, just as every other ability in the game, is something that had the price recently upgraded. I'm surprised we're seeing them as few as we are, because it only was up by 50, from 200 to 250. So you think Delusional would be engaging with those a little bit more traditionally, but not quite yet. Esperanto finds Delusional as Leica and Khan pick up 2 eliminations of their own. Esperanto tying things up, finding a third there. There's a potential of an ace right here, but no, instead it looks like Nick is going to be able to find Leica, and will be able to find the final 2. So just the Omen and the Sova doing the team's work. They're able to find 5 elims between the 2 of them.
And it's good to see Nick get on the board, really be influential that round, because as we said, Nick is the new face on this squad that has been so dominant over the last few months. So they're coming in, they're replacing Braced. They might not be on top of the leaderboard right now at 3 and 6, but it's not necessarily about getting kills all the time. It's about getting impact plays. And they're able to help close out the round. The ace might not be on the table once again. We've seen it so close so many times, but you're going to take a round win over an ace any day.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt about that. A round win over an ace is a no-brainer, and we're definitely going to see the Bladestorm coming out now, so you have to wonder, where did the operator go? Did they choose to buy a new one? Did they just kind of leave it alone? I didn't get to look at their kit in time before we started up, but we saw the effectiveness of the Bladestorm earlier on. I want to see that same energy here again from this Jett. It looks like we're going to see the first engagement coming through, and misses all 5, and Nick with the triple kill instead! Oh, the wallbang, the headshot, and the clean kill onto Khan. Various finding a 4th, and oh, did he get the plant? Oh, he did it! He got the plant, so Leica does get the spike plant. That will get them a couple more credits for the next round, but UC Davis have kicked it from a 4-4 to a 6-4, Striking Vipers down by 2 rounds once again.
And I think there was a judge in play there. I think we might need to see that again, but I think there was actually a judge that came out.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
never
C16.
Mind. Yeah, there it is. C16 was using it. So I think it might have actually been in Smurfsicle's hands at the beginning. But
I think you're right.
Regardless, Nick, we were just talking about them, and then they step up big time. That triple kill. We thought the Bladestorm would get the kill, but sometimes you just go a little bit too wild, just can't hit those shots. You only get the reset if you get a kill. There, they couldn't do it. They were lined up right on top of each other. Yeah,
it was the alt fire. So all of them missed at the exact same time. There was no second chance. There was no try again. It was just a little too high above the head, and you lose the whole ult.
And I find it a bit ironic there that before they got that huge kill of the Bladestorm last time, because the enemy on the side from Striking Vipers, or from UC Davis, were the ones that were lined up. But now that Striking Vipers just made the exact same mistake. They were the ones lined up right there in lights, and it's going to cost them a round.
Yeah, you're totally right. I didn't even notice that. So from one good lineup to one bad lineup, the different sides of the same coin there for our Jett players so far. Various is a name I feel we haven't been saying a lot, but has been making a really large impact. Every round that we've seen UC Davis win, I think Various is sitting around 2, 3, 4 eliminations. I think this Sova is just doing a phenomenal job. Nick as well, but we've said that name plenty of times, coming in strong here for UC Davis, finding Delusional. The Cosmic Divide not really going to do enough here. Is Striking Vipers, they're still going to have to find a way to engage once it goes down.
And there's going to be an Owl Drone coming in, I think, trying to go through the Cosmic Divide. It is, so they are going to find out at least, like, for the time being. And there's going to be Various with the Hunter's Fury.
Oh, no way! Oh, C16 with a long-distance judge kill. Able to find Sin offline. We see the Hunter's Fury coming out. I think I heard another one, but Khan fell before it could make an appearance. Slim is going to find 1, picks up 2, and this 33 health Jett has nothing short of a dream. Will lose the round trying to make it out with the weapons available. Oh, that spike got planted, was immediately defused, and Slim just barely resetting Nick at the end of the round.
And you and I have talked about this a lot when it comes to Valorant, when it comes to round score. 7-5. is a very
Yes,
good score to have
yes.
as a defender. You know, it's not too bad to come from. Right now, these defenders are doing really good. Usually you think that they're going to be the one with 5 versus the 7, but actually they are up. So going into the attacking round, having 8 to 4 would be huge. Striking
No
Vipers
doubt.
on the other side, though. I mean, if they get to 5 to 7, it's definitely still a winnable game. You just want to keep it as close as possible. And we've seen Striking Vipers. They keep getting great kills at the very end, but it's after the spike has already been diffused. So just not good enough timing. They're going to run in now with this raised ultimate.
Awkward. Nobody's over there. Oh! Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm super upset it didn't get a kill, but I love the energy. I love the ambition of the teleporter into Showstopper. Unfortunately, Delusional still falls there. So, you know, the skill is a little bit stolen there from our Raze player, C16. Leica going to go for that Cybergate as well. Going to get up close and personal, running through it. Thinks so. Okay, loses their opponent just a little bit. And during the reload, the shorty kill from C16 on to Leica. Insult to injury there. A 4v3 coming through in favor of UC Davis for the time being. And like you said, 8-4 hurts a lot more than 7-5.
It does, and it's looking like Striking Vipers might be heading down that road, unfortunately. They'll be swapping sides, so what we consider advantageous, but still not looking great. They do trade, but Slim is on this huge flank, and they're the last one alive. So this is the problem we've seen a few times now, where they try to go for these big brain flanks, but all their team members are falling around them. And C16, what was that?
Oh, my jaw quite literally just hit the floor. My goodness, that was... C16 didn't even blink. They knew where that jet was the entire time. They were just waiting for her to turn that corner. Wow.
They go from using shotguns to the operator like that. I mean, just
in
put
one
any
round
gun in their hands. Yeah.
The same round, a shorty and an operator kill. I feel not many players get the opportunity to say that they've done that.
Now, as we have swapped sides, it will be that good lead for UC Davis. So it was close for quite a while. It was 4-4, but now it's been 4 rounds in a row for UC Davis. All they need is 5 more to put it away. And that pistol round, they won it last time. I'm sure they're going to be looking to win this one here. Ghost's going to be in their hands as well as a Frenzy on the other side. Classics and Ghosts galore. And I don't know how I feel about the Frenzy anymore, honestly. It was pretty powerful for a bit, and they increased the price. Now they've decreased it again.
Right.
I just think the Ghost is superior, especially if you can line up those headshots.
Yeah, I don't disagree, perhaps. I think a lot of people choose the Frenzy due to the fact that it's full auto, but the Ghost people have been much more successful with, so I really want to see, you know, coming through. Looks like we're not seeing anything from Various. They're going to be sticking to the classics. Sin finds one, Leica finds another with a shorty of their own, picks up 2, actually. Talk about a great shot there with the shorty, but here comes Various. Like I said, a name I'm not saying often, but my goodness, making a difference all the same. Do we see the pistol ace? That would be quite the sight to behold here on UC Davis's first attack round, but no, Slim with the Frenzy will pick up Various and secure a round win for the Striking Vipers.
And that's really important here because they need to claw back into this as many rounds as they can.
Of course.
And we always say the second round, usually guaranteed, but that wasn't the case last time. So I think Striking Vipers, they have to be really smart with how they play this here. And I think the way to do that is, yeah, you do have to buy a little bit. You don't want to spend too much. It's okay if you trade 2 for 1. You can give up the bonus round a little bit later because 6 to 9 is better than 9 to 5. And, you know, just simple math here. So they are going to buy out Spectres and Judges. We've seen the Judge work out very well so far for C16. We'll see what Leica can do with it in their hands this time around.
I want to see, yeah, like you said, I want to see what Leica can do with this Judge. I want to see how strong it comes out. I think it was a Judge and 4 Spectres. So we're going to have to see, does the Judge make the price difference worth it? Because the Judge is so expensive. There's going to be a smoke bomb from Slim early on, just trying to get out of there. They take a lot of damage, down to 46. I don't think they had any shields, so it's not like they took over 100, but they definitely are going to be, you know, a little under half health. And as a Jet, your kind of main goal is to get into a fight, get the kills and get out. But if you can't even make it in, you're of course not making it out.
And it really surprises me that Slim is going to be the one actually with not the shotgun. The Judge would be great for them because they do have that dash reset, they do have that cloud smoke, they do have that updraft, so they have so many movement abilities that would make having a shotgun, getting in and out much easier, but instead they are going for that more mid-range battle with the Spectre. So far, it's cost them almost their entire health pool. They are in the red already. Striking Vipers have to be really careful about that. UC Davis, so they also have someone weak, so a lot of poke damage so far, but no actual kills. And a round that only has about 35 seconds left.
Whew! One Cypher will dismiss another. Esperanto trying to find a kill. Will not be able to. Sin with the Spectre finds one, but Leica with the Judge, making it all worth it. The Judge, the Jury, and the Executioner picking up 3 eliminations, securing another round win for the Striking Vipers.
This is what we said. They had to buy, they had to win. They do that. They did win, so now it's a much closer race. They've cut that lead that UC Davis had in half, only 2 maps ahead, but UC Davis, they know this round is theirs for the taking. They can buy full auto assault rifles. That's exactly what they're going to do for Phantoms and a Vandal. Firepower is in their favor. Alt Bank is not, as Striking Vipers said, the only alt on the board. Even though Striking Vipers might be at a bit of a gun disadvantage, it's still very winnable for them. It really comes down to how they play it, and if they're able to get a kill and use that Neural Theft, that might be all they need.
Right, but I've got to point out here, UC Davis, they've bought the assault rifles, but they have spent their entire economy. I think the player that had the most there was like 600 credits. So they are really putting all their eggs in one basket here. They need to win this round to keep their economy in healthy shape, or they're really going to have to struggle on the next couple of rounds.
Absolutely. If they lose here, then they're going to have to just go for economy buys for the next 1 or 2, depending on how that next one would go. And then Striking Vipers, they could just completely get rid of the guns they've kept from the last round and go for that full buy that they're missing right now.
Yeah, the run it back being committed from UC Davis here. Looks like they're going to try to get as much value as possible. And the hot hands actually from Esperanto is going to be able to kill Slim, who dashes in for the close quarters kill. C16 picks up Khan off the back of it. UC Davis, they've got themselves in a 5-3 scenario. The first time in about 3 rounds, I believe, that they put themselves on top in the numbers. Delusional, however, going to tie things right back up. A great flash from Esperanto. Will be able to take that Reyna offline. And a 3v2, you got to get rid of this Phoenix, because right now he is making a world of difference.
Runs in with the run it back, is able to get a hot hands kill, is able to get the kill onto the Reyna that has been popping off all game. He's doing great things, and now it's only Sin. They do find one. They still have a good health pool. Yeah. And now they're going to go to the Astral Plane to try to find something there, but time is running out, and I feel like we've seen this story so many times from Striking Vipers. They just take a little bit too long. That time, the timer does not expire. They end up getting killed on the way out, but it's still not the end of the world, because you knew going into that last round where you bought all your Spectres that you'd probably trade the next one out, and you're in a better position. It is still a 3 rounds lead, but it's better than 4, so just chipping away a little bit, and now you can go for that full buy and match fire with fire.
Yeah, I've got to point out, though, everybody's economy is kind of in shambles right now. Whoever chooses to full buy is going to have nothing. And speaking of full buy, Slim just chose an operator, so committing everything they've got and more coming through here. I really want to see, because this is the moment I feel one of the teams can really keep momentum in their favor. If they win this round, they can really force economy in their favor and continue to win rounds afterward.
And very few guns were bought by Striking Vipers last round, so why is their economy so bad? It's because of the ability changes. They did go for a lot of those abilities, and now they're paying the price. Some of them, they can all buy assault rifles, but some of them I saw light armor. I think I saw no armor, so maybe better firepower, but not as much protection.
Yeah, I think you've made a great observation there. We've touched on it quite a few times, is that abilities cost more, and that's going to change a lot of momentum for how these teams need to play. A lot of players rely on those abilities, especially those Jets, especially those Astras, especially those Omens, and those players really have not been able to do that here. So the economies, they're trying to play the way they used to, not realizing how much those increases really have cost them in their economy so far.
It's a world of difference, and like you said, it might cost them in the long run. You don't handle your economy properly, doesn't matter how good your gunplay is. If you don't have those abilities to get flashes or get in and out of areas or create diversions like those smokes, it can just be the end of your run. So far, a very slow round, only 30 seconds left, and UC Davis has not really made a move.
I was just about to say the same thing. We are really taking our time here on this one, pushing in slow, and there's the first elimination. Slim taking C16 out of the fight. Esperanto finding Leica. Khan's going to pick up Nick right afterwards. It's going to be 2-for-2 trade here. Sin, however, in the back line picks up 2. Might be able to find 3, but instead Various will be able to find that kill. And it looks like Khan, one Sova takes out another, and Striking Vipers put themselves down only by 2 rounds.
That's huge for them. They have clawed tooth and nail to be this close, and you said it was a big investment to get the operator, and in my mind I was thinking, Slim's hit every shot, so
true.
That's an investment you're worth going to the bank for, and it is going to be that economy that is in shambles for UC Davis. You pointed it out, both teams really were not looking great after that last round. UC Davis, they cannot buy. I'm really shocked here that Esperanto is going to be going for that Phantom right now. Everyone else is going for sidearms, and you only have 1,000 credits, so maybe the idea is someone else can buy later on for you, but if it's a save round, you really don't have to worry about being the carry. You'll still be in the lead here, so that might have been an overinvestment here by UC Davis.
Yeah, and overinvestments like that in games as close as this one can really bite you in the butt later on. So we want to keep an eye on UC Davis and their Phoenix's economy. Esperanto, see where he sits after this round, whether it's a win or a loss. Now here comes C16 failing the blast pack jump, but I think doing a little bit of damage onto the Reyna there. Oh, but not doing enough. There is Leica from the side, able to take out 2. Esperanto will find Delusional, but a 2-for-1 trade is certainly not what UC Davis wants to see right now. Cosmic Divide is at the ready, as well as Neural Theft. Esperanto committing a run it back, finds 1 kill, making the ultimate already worth it. A hot hands coming through around the corner will be taken out by Leica there with the Phantom. It's going to be 3v3. UC Davis's Esperanto hadn't used that ultimate, found 1 kill for it, and will not find a second out of it. However, Nick will be there to clean up Khan. Smurfsicles picks up Leica with a wallbang classic. We've seen Sin in this scenario 100 times over, and it's probably going to be the same story, just not enough time to defuse.
They're so weak on the other side. That's going to be the teleport. It's actually not even going to get off, but there's still one behind with that Cosmic Divide. It is going to be a bit too late. No, there's no time. And it's exactly like you said, Sceptilence just doesn't take the opportunity when you need to. Sin, they were so weak, but they were in the Astral Plane when those kills came up onto their team, so they came out of it. They were a bit farther away from the point. They can't get to the spike. It was a risk, and we were like, oh, maybe they shouldn't buy this Phantom. I was completely wrong there. I mean, look at that play. Esperanto just took that game into their hands. They run it back. They took out Slim. That was a big thing. They took out the Operator. They took out all of that high ground pressure from Striking Vipers early on, and that is the Thrifty round of a century if I've ever seen one.
It's momentum flipped when momentum needed to be flipped most. It really is coming through here. They found what they needed. They got rid of the Operator, and now UC Davis, they are just a couple of rounds away from winning this first map. Now, keep in mind, they lose map 1. This is not a best of 1. We've got at least one more map after this, but UC Davis to put themselves up 1-0 so early on is going to be obviously a great start.
It is indeed. You got that momentum, and I believe this isn't even their map pick. I think this was actually Striking Vipers. It was. So winning on the other team's map pick, that's just huge. I mean, you're going to feel so confident. Even though this has been a closer game than expected, you'll feel on top of the world going into your own map pick and starting off on defense on Ascent. You're probably going to be feeling like the series is basically yours to take or yours to lose. So we'll see if UC Davis is able to actually get that first round win on the board, because it's not all said and done. Striking Vipers, they might be down 3 rounds right now, but 6 rounds, it's not the most difficult thing in the world, and it's not going to be good when you lose too early.
Wow, yeah, losing too early on as well. And I want to bring up, during this round, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not positive, but I'm pretty darn tootin', I'm like 80% sure that last time I saw UC Davis play on Ascent, it was a 13-0. I am almost confident that that is the last time I saw them play on Ascent. So to see them going in after that, I have to wonder, are they going to carry that same momentum?
Could be. I mean, this is a map obviously they like. That's why they chose it. But different team, different composition, different game, really, with all these changes to economy and stuff like that. But Slim still trying to do the thing they've done all game, but they missed the Blade Storm.
They were so confident with it, and that is a flawless round here in round 18. That is going to be absolutely phenomenal for UC Davis. They're just going to be 2 rounds short of taking the game away.
Striking Vipers, they couldn't really buy, so this is where they have to make their penultimate last stand, I would say, because losing this round isn't the end of the world. There is still one more round you can give up, but then it forces the overtime scenario where if you do tie things up, you got to go 2 rounds in a row, and things can go on forever and ever. So you really never want to get to that place. You never want to put yourself in a situation where it becomes that dire. So if you're going to make the comeback, it's got to be right here, right now for Striking Vipers, because their economy also is not going to be great after this. They basically spent everything they had.
Oh, no. They're going to lose Delusional so early on. The Vandal finds the kill from C16 on the Raze, and that Reyna, she's got so many great abilities, kind of a lot of stability to keep herself alive a little bit longer than normal, and to lose that early on is such a disaster. This Hunter's Fury is going to have to miss every single shot if the Striking Vipers want an opportunity to stay alive, and it will miss that shot as well. Oh, but Khan gets taken out before he can use one of his own. Now, the 2 top fraggers on the side of the Striking Vipers are the 2 left alive. They're both at full health, but to win a 2v4 is a Herculean task, to say the least.
It is, and I think that's twice now we've seen Khan possibly think about using the Hunter's Fury, but getting killed before they actually could. It is still in their pocket. I think last time they were actually killed in the animation.
Yeah, they were.
They will have 2 ultimates. So Striking Vipers, this is just, you can't win this right now. Maybe you can force out the run it back. Now you can't even do that because there's only Sin alive. You do get the Phoenix down, but this just isn't winnable. It is not at all. And now UC Davis, they are on match point. There, you want to just try to force out anything you can. you do have two ultimates on your side, but so do UC Davis. They have a showstopper as well, and that could be all that's said and done just right off the bat. We've seen UC Davis be aggressive before. We've seen them run in through a teleporter. They could try to do something similar again and just take a point early on.
Oh no! And look at the economy on the side of the Striking
gone.
Vipers. Yeah, it's gone. They've got an Ares, but we're also looking at a Classic and a Spectre on that same team right now. Or no, okay, a Bulldog does make an appearance, but still, the fact that Delusional's rocking a Spectre up against a full 5 assault rifles coming out from the side of UC Davis, this Hunter's Fury is going to have to be nothing short of colossal.
They had to force buy. Now they're going to have to pop the Empress as well. They got to pop everything, and that is going to be Hunter's Fury coming out early on. Don't see it on our screen, but it could be getting worked elsewhere. But Slim is not getting any work done there.
Slim was looking at the Owl drone, just staring too high up, and Esperanto got to take full advantage of that effect. Goes for the flash around the corner, knows nobody's there, and a bit of a spray and pray, trying to get any value with that run it back, but it looks like they're really not going to need it. C16 finds one, Nick picks up another, and UC Davis there, just a couple of seconds, one elimination away. Oh, Delusional finds one. Do we see an ace in the final moments? Here comes the second elimination, and I would absolutely lose my mind if Delusional was able to pick up a shot here, pick up a 5K, but it's going to be a difficult thing to do. They've got the Empress online, I believe, so they might want to just pop it and pray. I mean, they've already got it lined up. I really want to see what kind of value can be done here.
They do have the Empress online. They find one in their sights, but even if they had gotten the kill into Esperanto, I don't think it would have been enough. There was someone right around the corner. That early game, it looked so neck and neck, but UC Davis,
really
they
did.
pulled ahead, and they never gave that lead up, not even for a moment. UC Davis going to take that map 13-7, and I think the biggest thing for Striking Vipers is just their pacing. They were too quick sometimes, and they were too slow other times, and in both instances, it really cost them.
Yeah, it really did. And I think you've hit the nail right on the head. As UC Davis, they played at the same momentum. They had similar rotations when they followed through. And also, they didn't go for those crazy big cheeky flanks where they were actually just taking 5v4 fights. And the Striking Vipers did that a couple of times, unfortunately. I really think they're going to have to take a couple of minutes, perhaps discuss the tempo they want to choose moving into our next map and really stick to it. Because like you said, it was either way too fast, or many times when the Astra was the last one left alive, it was just not fast enough. And now they are going to get a couple of minutes here during this break to kind of discuss their team comps moving into the next map. Don't go far, folks. Use this time. Use the restroom. Get some water. Do what you got to do. We'll see you right back here in just a couple of minutes.
Stinger, and you're live.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm still Septilins, joined by the handsome and talented Jag, and we do bring some unfortunate news. We are actually going to have to call it here. There's going to be a forfeit on the side of the Striking Vipers. They had an issue with a couple of things on, in the technical aspect, and one of the players, unfortunately, can't complete the series. So we are going to have to call it a day a little bit earlier than we once thought.
Yeah, and every game is really important. So it's really unfortunate here for Striking Vipers. They played a really great early and mid game. Then I feel like around the side swap, that's when things started to fall apart for them. That map 1 was very winnable, and I would have loved to see them tie it up in map 2. But I think the one good thing we can say coming out of this is they did look very strong at certain points.
Yeah.
If they can clean up a little bit of their pacing issues, I think they could definitely qualify for playoffs. It's a 6-team division, and the top 4 teams make it, so your odds are still very much in your favor. One game is not the end of your run. We'll have to see them come back a little bit stronger later on. And there's one thing I want to talk about on the other side of UC Davis, because we talked about Nick coming in, playing really well. We talked about their Sova player who looked really, really good throughout the series. Various Esperanto, I think, was the story of the end of the game. There was actually a chance for Striking Vipers to come back. It was that Thrifty round that you and I were losing our minds over. We're like, don't buy the Phantom. This is a terrible idea.
And then it worked.
It worked so well. That run it back was incredible. The hot hands, the curveballs, they really carried the end of that game. And that completely shifted momentum, like you had pointed out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've hit the nail right on the head. This isn't the end of the season or anything even close for Striking Vipers. This is literally the first game. And it's almost a scenario. It's like, oh no, we lost to, the number 1 team. Like,
defending
shucks,
champions.
this is the defending champs. But in the same sense, you took 7 rounds off the defending champs. I have watched UC Davis 13-0 people. I have watched teams get absolutely obliterated by them. So for the Striking Vipers to win almost half of a complete map win, I mean, that is incredible. We saw some really great things from them today.
And they're a new roster. We don't know how long they've been scrimming. We don't really know their past with their players, but we can only assume it's been a little while at most, maybe a month or 2. So this is a team coming and competing for the first time together, put up one heck of a performance. It's a shame they could not complete the full series, but I'm sure we'll see a lot more of them in the future.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the rough draft of the team, I cannot wait to see the final copy, because they have come out very strong for being as rough as they are. But like we said, folks, that is unfortunately going to bring today to a very quick close. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. A shout out to the teams for coming out and playing for us on stream. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Hyper. And thank you, everybody in the back line at UPL that has made all of this possible. Check your posture, drink some water. Don't forget to love each other. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a great night.